What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Legit Whiskey Reviews. And today I'll be reviewing an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A123. All right, it's about time I reviewed this one. So I've been sitting on this one probably since February. I know it came out in January. They usually come out 3 times a year: the A, the B, and the C batch. January, May, and September, I believe. But around here, I usually don't see them. I probably see them like 2 to 3 months later, but I do always see them on the shelf, which is pretty nice. But this one I picked up, I think it was in February, and I really haven't gotten into it too much. Like a month ago was when I first opened it up, and I thought it was about time that I got around to this one, because I've been sitting on it, like I said, for a while. And also here I have the A121, which I want to compare to this one in this episode, and then I also have the C921, and I'm not going to compare it to this one because I really enjoyed this one, and so I just wanted to compare it to the same batch 2 years apart, so A and A, just to see what the differences are. One of my favorite batches of all time was the C920. That one was amazing. A lot of the ones from 2020 were actually amazing. The ones last year were better than 2021 in my opinion. I feel like the C922 from last year was really good, and I had that bottle. I'm not sure where it's at, because I wanted to bring it out as well and try it. I was gonna compare it to this one, but yeah, I don't know where it's at, so I'm gonna compare it to the A121. All right, so also, if you guys can drop a comment and let me know how you feel. The next batch, which I think came out this month, but like I said, I usually don't see them until like 2 to 3 months later, but the B523 came out this month, and from what I saw, this is the first time in a long time where it's under 12 years. So if I didn't let you guys know, these are usually 12 years age stated, and for the first time in a long time, it's going to be under 12 years, but I think it's like 11 years and around 5 to 6 months, so it's not that much of a difference. I don't think it'll impact the whiskey that much, but I feel like if they start going lower and the prices start going up, then I think that'll make a difference, and I think that's when I'll stop buying them. But I feel like right now at 12 years old, these are great value. As far as this one here, this one comes in at 125.6 proof, so 62.8% ABV. All right, let's get into this one. I feel like I'm getting the classic Elijah Craig barrel proof notes, like when you get one of those good batches, but I feel like this isn't as dark and rich as the 2020 batches, but it's still pretty good. So I'm getting a lot of char. There's a little bit of oak, a medium amount of oak, but then you get your rich caramels and vanilla. Yeah, there's a ton of caramel in here. The more this is open up, I feel like the caramel has really come out on this one. I feel like it's not the same. I mean, the other one's a wheated bourbon, but it's reminding me a lot of the Larceny barrel proof, one of the batches that I had from last year, where it was like a caramel bomb. It was the one for, I believe it was B522. I can't remember which batch, but it won my whiskey of the year last year. So whatever that was, it's reminding me a lot of this. So yeah, it's like really buttery too, like a buttery caramel type note. There's a hint of a cherry note coming in now. So yeah, it's like a little bit of like a cherry caramel, buttery caramel, vanilla note. But yeah, that char note is really prominent on the nose. All right, let's go to the palate. Cheers. I'm not gonna judge it on this sip because this is the first sip of the day, first sip of the week. I mean, it's been probably like a week since I had any bourbon, so all the notes are really, really strong. So I don't want to judge it on that first sip, but pretty much everything that I got on the nose, I'm getting on the palate. It's a little bit more peppery on the palate. I didn't pick up too much of the pepper note, but it's like spicy, peppery, to go along with those caramel, vanilla, slight cherry note. The char is still coming through. It's lingering in the palate, and there's a good amount of oak. I wouldn't say it's like a lot of oak, but it's a decent amount, like a medium amount of oak, sweet oak, not like bitter or tannic. So that's pretty good. Let's go for a second sip. Much better. So I feel like it's pretty it coats the palate pretty well. I feel like it's like that buttery smell that I was getting on the nose. It's coming through on the palate. It's coating the palate, sticking to the palate. I feel like the fruitiness, in my opinion, comes out more on the palate than it does on the nose. Like I was getting that slight cherry note on the nose, but on the palate, that cherry is really coming through. There's even a little bit of like a slight apple note as well that came through on that second sip. So I love that fruit to balance out with the char, the spice, the pepperiness, and yeah, so this is really, really good. This is one of my favorite batches in a long time. I did enjoy the C922 from last year, like I said, but this one's really, really good. Yeah, so I'm gonna compare it to this A121. So of course from January of 2021. I don't remember it too well. I know I reviewed it. I liked it. I mean, when it comes to like comparing all these Elijah Craig barrel proofs, even the bad batches or the batches that aren't great, they'll still beat out most bourbons any day. When it comes to value as far as price, the age, and what you get in the whiskey, I feel like even a bad batch of Elijah Craig barrel proof would beat most whiskeys. So just to put that in perspective, I'm not calling, not a bad batch doesn't mean a bad batch. It just means compared to the other Elijah Craig barrel proof. And they're not even bad. It's just like they're not offering what the great batches of Elijah Craig barrel proof offer. All right, but let's get into this one now. This is the A121. Now this one has been open, of course, for 2 years now. I feel like this one is brighter. I'm getting more fruit notes on this one. But I feel like I enjoy the thick, like the buttery caramel, vanilla, cherry note that I get in this A123, which I'm not getting in this one. This one seems brighter, even though it's been open for a long time. It has gotten better from the last time I remember it, because I feel like it was way brighter when I first opened this up 2 years ago. I feel like this is brighter and fruitier, which I enjoy the fruitier notes, but like I'm getting a lot of apple. I can't say I get too much oak on this one. And the char comes through, but not like it does that barrel char doesn't come through like it does in this A123. So yeah, I feel like this A121 is less balanced than this A123. So that's like one of the big differences. But let's try it on the palate. Yeah, so this one's good. I feel like this is more stringent. This one actually is 123.6 proof. So this one's like about 2 points higher, the new one. And I feel like, yeah, this one's more stringent. It's not as well-rounded. Something's missing from this A121, and I can't pinpoint what it is, but definitely it's not balanced. very astringent. The alcohol comes forward more. I feel like the notes that come through in this A123 are thicker, richer, more like they coat the palate, and they're darker and more well-rounded. I get a lot more of the notes that balance each other out, and I'm not getting that one in this A121. So that's what I feel like is the big difference between this one and this one. So I feel like they're going in the right directions the last couple of years. The 2022 batches were pretty good, not on the level of the 2020 and below. But they're getting better, and this year is no different as far as this A batch. So hopefully that under 12-year-old, that 11-year batch doesn't disappoint. I haven't seen it in my area yet, but as far as this one, this is an A+. I enjoy it. It's complex enough. I wouldn't say it's overly complex, but it's complex enough. It has enough of the great Elijah Craig barrel proof notes that I do enjoy when it's a good batch. Very well balanced. I love that pepperiness, the char that comes through, and the decent amount of oak where I feel like it's not over oaked or tannic or bitter. It's like a nice sweet oak. So if you guys like my content, remember to smash that like button, remember to subscribe, and keep it legit and do it for the love of whiskey. Cheers.